Good day, guys. So today, I just thought I'd discuss a bit about Viddal Riley. So recently, it was announced that he will be fighting Mikhail Lowell. I hope I haven't butchered that pronunciation. On Easter Sunday on the undercard of Wardley versus Clark. See, I think he's a very good example of what kind of modern era boxers should look like because he's doing really well on socials. So obviously, why people know him in a YouTube aspect is he helped. Originally, he was KSI's trainer when KSI first got into boxing, and then I think he's also trained an Easton Gibb. So I think from there, obviously, he thought, there's money to be made. I can get a following. I might as well make my own YouTube channel. And he has his own YouTube channel that is very successful. And I don't know, I think it's difficult because obviously, as a boxer, you don't want to be known, you don't want to be an influencer. Because obviously, being an influencer boxer would be an insult to being a professional boxer. But I think it's clever. I think, you know, in order to get people talking about you, in order to get people buying tickets, in order to get people buying the PvP, you need to have a following. You need to have people interested in you, and the easiest way to do that is to build a YouTube channel. So although, Isaac Chamberlain's given him some grief calling him a YouTuber, I think it's quite smart that he has his own YouTube channel. And a lot of upcoming boxers are doing it. Ben Whittaker started his own channel. So I think people are realizing if you want people to talk about you, if you want to sell tickets, if you want to be big, if you want to make P's, you've got to have a following. So I think he's very smart for doing that. And I think you can learn a lot from KSI. Obviously, a lot of traditional boxing fans maybe don't like KSI because obviously he's an influencer. And, I do agree. I think influencer boxing is dangerous. But I do think you give KSI credit for his change. He was a bit overweight and, he got ripped and he fought Tommy Fury. That's pretty epic. So, I think he learned the art of social media, how you can use it to win, to gain followers. And, he has respect because he's definitely a professional boxer. Like he's got the English cruiserweight title, which no one can take away from him. Do I think he'll win his upcoming fight against Lowell? Yeah, I think he does. I think Viddal Riley, look, he's a really neat boxer. Gareth A. Davis on Talk was saying that you can really see he's kind of starting to have an itinerary of boxing skills. He's not just relying on like a jab or being strong, but he does combination punches, different array of them. He's got a lot of skills in his locker, and yeah, I get a really good feeling about Viddal Riley. He's humble and he takes things seriously. He believes in himself, and he admits where he goes wrong. I remember I was watching his video when he was reacting to his wins over Taj, and yeah, he was humble. He said, "Look, I got caught a few times, so he's willing to admit his mistakes and learn." And I get a really good feeling about Viddal Riley. I think he's going to become a big player in the cruiserweight scene. I think he'll get through Lowell quite easily. Lowell didn't look great against Chamberlain. It was a bit one-sided, but maybe it was an off day for him. I don't know. Chamberlain's, I don't know. Obviously, Chamberlain went to war with Billum Smith. I think he'll get through Chamberlain. I think Chris Billum Smith would give him a difficult fight. I think Viddal Riley doesn't. The thing with Chris Billum Smith is everyone says he's kind of big and strong. Maybe doesn't quite have that boxing IQ that he needs to, but being big and strong is very important in boxing, right? I think he hits really hard. His last opponent, he broke two of his ribs. And, he was the first guy to get to a Coley. So I think Billum Smith deserves a lot of respect personally. But obviously, I am a bit biased being from his hometown, being a big fan of him. So, yeah, I think Billum Smith will give him a hard fight. I think Oppenheimer would give him a hard fight. But I guess this goes without saying, really. Like, I'm naming champions. I always think, what always seems to forget about him in the cruiserweight world, but like, Maris Brady's is the real deal. Obviously, Oppenheimer beat him, but, he broke Oppenheimer's jaw. He got a split decision with Usyk. So I think the cruiserweight division is looking very exciting at the moment. There's definitely the potentials of a tournament. I'd love to see a cruiserweight tournament. There's lots of great names in there. Yeah, another thing I find interesting about Viddal Riley is he's got his music career as well. So this is a guy with a lot of skills. He's not just a boxer. He's kind of learning to do other things. Because although it's great to discipline yourself, you know, in one discipline, other skills are helpful. You know, he's a YouTuber, he's an uncle, you know, he's a son, he's a musician. I think that's quite a good tip for like self-esteem. If you're ever struggling with self-esteem, you've got to remember like you aren't just one thing. So, you know, if you lose a boxing match, it's like, you know, maybe you lost a boxing match, but like you're still a good father, you're still a good, you know, you're still a good baker, you know, you can have other things going for you. But yeah, I get a really good feeling about Viddal Riley. I think he's gonna go to the top, and his highlights so far have been good. He hasn't had any real challenges. Obviously, his last fight, he won on points. I mean, clearly won on points, but obviously he probably would have liked the knockdown. And then obviously the two before that, both were KOs. But yeah, I get a very good feeling about Viddal Riley. I think he's very smart. You know, he's playing the game, building up his social media, but also really good boxer. He's avoided the temptation of going over to the influencer scene for money. You know, him and Tommy Fury would do a lot of money, but you know, he believes himself enough that he can make money in the professional route. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing his journey progress. That's today's video. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Thank you. Goodbye.